Hello and welcome to all presenters and participants of the What the Body Knows workshop. A special welcome to our keynote speaker, Professor Colleen Shantz at the University of Toronto, and I'm so pleased that you are all willing and able to keep on with the workshop despite all the difficulties the pandemic has brought with it. I'm very aware that many of you have been furloughed, have had additional caring responsibilities. For example, I wrote this welcome talk with one hand on my phone while holding my sleeping 10-week-old, and he's actually asleep right now. Everyone's working from home, I assume, and under the immense pressure of additional workload due to the abrupt shift to online teaching, and may also just be basically trying to cope with the general anxiety of living in what is now the cliched unprecedented times. I appreciate the additional work that this workshop represents, and I'm grateful that you are all here. These papers represent a contribution to scholarship in that the application of embodied sensory analysis to the Bible is a relatively new area of study. My aim with this workshop is to bring those of us working in this cutting-edge field together and to put our work in conversation with one another. As I've written elsewhere, and I'll summarize shortly, I'm committed to scholarship that is reparative and joyful rather than paranoid, and I hope you will join me in bringing that spirit to our discussions and collaborations at this workshop. I'll say a little bit more about what I mean. I'm relying heavily on Eve Sedgwick's essay on paranoid and reparative reading. She acknowledges how important critical engagement with our sources and our scholarship is, and how this critical or paranoid reading skill allows us to identify hegemonic social relationships. This ability to read using a paranoid lens has given us feminist theories, queer theories, class analysis, post-colonial analysis, disability analysis, and many more ways of engaging fruitfully with the Bible and its social, political, and literary contexts. The last 30 years of scholarship are testament to how important this kind of paranoid reading has been for the field and for scholarship in general, something that I join Sedgwick in acknowledging and valuing. But paranoia is only one way of engaging with the world, and Sedgwick reminds us of the dangers of forgetting that paranoia is but one tool of many. In trying to analyze the hateful or harmful or envious aspects of the world, the scholar risks embodying or internalizing those characteristics. Reparative reading, on the other hand, is a lens that seeks to illuminate the joyful. Sedgwick describes it as additive in its approach to texts rather than destructive or deconstructive. Heather Love's response to Sedgwick articulates further what this might mean. Love says, quote, "This kind of reading contrasts with familiar academic protocols like maintaining critical distance, outsmarting, and other forms of one-upmanship, refusing to be surprised, or if you are, then not letting on, believing the hierarchy, becoming the boss," end quote. Instead, reparative reading welcomes surprise, multiplicity, divergence, and creativity. Reading reparatively and interacting with each other reparatively is about noticing, taking joy in observation, and experiencing affect. A reparative engagement allows for the possibility of building up while we are picking apart. Reparative reading urges us to answer yes and rather than a simple no. Already, this was going to be a different kind of workshop, with an emphasis on discussion of ideas still in their formative stages. With the move to an online format, we are trying a new experiment with digital means of collaboration, at least new for me. We lose out on the chats over coffee and meeting each other in person, which I hope one day we'll be able to do. But I also really hope that we come away from this with a joyful sense of having been built up by our time together, and that our ideas are stronger for having been read all together. On this note, I'd like to thank each presenter for responding to their assigned long paper, for starting off our reparative discussion on the Padlet site. I'm really looking forward to what we create together. I'd also like to thank Dr. Amanda Davis, who worked so hard to put together the digital structure of the workshop while I was on maternity leave. We have her to thank for the digital solutions that will make this workshop possible. And with that, I'll let you all get on with the enjoyable task of reading and thinking through the contributions you prepared. See you online.